Hail and well-met Dungeoneers. Today we will be making a D&D party of nothing but Ryan Gosling characters, a gaggle of Goslings, if you will. Now, this probably prompts some questions. Questions like, why are you doing this? Who is this for? Fine questions, let's move on. Now, I considered many a Gosling role for this list, and here are some of the ones that didn't make the cut, but you are welcome to make the fifth Gosling in the comments down below. Now, while I am proud of the 4 prime Goslings I will be showing you, most egregiously some would say I am missing possibly the prime Gosling, and that is Notebook Gosling. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what to do with this guy. I mean, he's like a carpenter, so maybe I could make like a druid. I don't know. It doesn't work, so if you would like to include Notebook Gosling, just picture that this man is going through his notebook for his aging wife, telling her all about his D&D builds. As far as rules for the builds go, we are using the 2024 Player Handbook plus backwards compatible content, no Unearthed Arcana, no homebrew. As far as the Gosling movies I'll be talking about, you can expect soft spoilers, but I still think they would all be perfectly fine and watchable movies for you and your D&D bros when we're done with this. I'm going to focus on a balance between lore and flavor, and I'm not trying to optimize these builds, but I think they're going to safely fall into like an A or a B tier in terms of power level. And on this one, I do want to focus on the interplay, the camaraderie of our Goslings with party tactics, which I will highlight in group. And finally, for our order of character creation, I'm going to start by showing you the class at level 1. We're going to go into the backgrounds, which are going to be custom backgrounds according to the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide. We'll look at species. We're going to level up our Goslings to level 10, a very respectable tier of adventuring. We're going to use point buy for ability scores. I'm going to show you their skills, their spells if they have them, their equipment, and finally round out with some feats. Without further ado, let's get to our first Gosling. Coming in from the film Drive, we have the Driver. Now, this is going to be a character with a bit of scum and villainy to him, a bit of skullduggery. We are going to want to drive. We are also going to want to kill people. In case you've never seen the movie Drive, it is ultimately a crime thriller. We're going to be doing a lot less staring quietly at Carey Mulligan and a lot more murder. Let's see what that looks like in D&D. We're going to start out as a rogue. We get expertise, sneak attack, thieves' cant, and our weapon masteries, we're going to go with a dagger and a light crossbow. You may be noticing I'm missing the iconic light hammer here, but unfortunately the light hammer doesn't work with the rogue's class ability of sneak attack. That's fine. When he uses the hammer in the movie, it's more of an intimidation tactic than anything, so we are going to pick that up later. Our background is Driver. We're going to pick up the Crafter Origin feat, representative of how the Driver is actually a mechanic. He's good with engines. We'll pick up some tools like woodcarver's tools to be able to repair our stagecoaches and such. Our alignment for this guy is going to be lawful neutral. Yes, we're a criminal, but we have a distinct code and we're trying to make good, or rather we're caught between the actions of good and evil, so I think this fits pretty well. We're a little off, we're a little not quite human, so I went with an elf that's going to give us dark vision and some extra features, but most importantly, it's going to give us a little bit of magic with the wood elf feature of Pass Without Trace, which is going to allow our whole party to enter into enhanced stealth to set up ambushes. As we go all the way to level 10 with Rogue, we're going to get a number of offensive and defensive abilities, but we're also a skill monkey. We're going to get reliable talent, so when we roll low, no, we actually rolled pretty good, and this does apply to our driving checks. At 3rd level in Rogue, we pick up our subclass, and that is going to be Assassin. We are going to be very good at taking down foes in the first round of combat. And I also want to highlight that we get proficiency in the Poisoner's Kit, which can help out not only our own attacks, but give our allies the access to poison as well. Our ability scores after the base point buy, plus the background, plus the feats are figured in. 10 strength, 20 dexterity, hell yeah, 12 constitution, 14 intelligence, 14 wisdom, and 8 charisma? On a Ryan Gosling character? Yes, you read that right. The driver does not have Riz. Does he have a girl? Yes, but that is the epitome of pulling a baddie by being autistic, and that's nothing offensive. We stan a neurospicy king. We have a lot of skills and 5 expertises. I want to highlight animal handling, which is going to help us on our drive checks as we drive around the boys in our wagon, and perception so that we can serve as the group's lookout. Now, for our equipment, I'm sticking to mundane equipment and not giving our Goslings magic items right now, even though they totally deserve it. That's going to be up to you playing your Gosling and your DM and what you want to give to them, so I'm going to leave that up to you. What I do want to highlight is that we have a wagon and some draft horses so that we can drive the boys to our next dungeon or our next heist. For the final piece of our driver build, we have Skulker for better stealth, Elven accuracy because we can, and Skill Expert. Thank you, next. Jacob from Crazy Stupid Love is an interesting pick, I know, because all of our other Goslings are action characters. This guy just hangs out at a bar and picks up chicks. What am I gonna do there? Well, you see, his main thing, yes, he's good at picking up chicks, but he sees another bro who's bad at picking up chicks and decides to take him under his wing. We are going to make our support healer character for our party of Goslings. Now, I do feel the need to address something quickly, and that is that when most people hear about a seducer character in D&D, they immediately want to make somebody with lots of enchantment magic. And here's the thing, I want you to consider the ethics of casting Charm Person on somebody to sleep with them in your D&D world, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Our Jacob doesn't rely on magic sleazy tricks to get people in bed with him, he's just charming, so we're gonna reflect that in our build. So we're going to make a cleric. We get spellcasting. For our divine order, we're going to go ahead and grab protector so that we can get some heavy armor and martial weapons. Our background is going to be air, kind of a take on noble. We're going to have a lot of money. We're also going to have the lucky origin feat and some proficiency with some gaming sets. Why not? Alignment is going to be chaotic neutral. We don't really care about the rules or the outside world. We're just doing our own thing. Despite our seemingly superhuman seduction abilities, we are ultimately just a dude. We're going to be human. We're resourceful. That's going to give us some extra heroic inspiration every day. We're going to pick up an extra skill, and we're going to pick up an extra origin feat with healer as we pour a nice drink for our dudes, or more accurately, buy them a drink at the bar. We are taking cleric straight up through 10th level so we can get this sweet divine intervention. Channel divinity also gives us access to divine spark for yet another source of heal. And while this subclass does sometimes scare me, I think this time it is perfectly justified for the kind of party we're building and the kind of character we're building. Jacob is a creature of the night. He is able to use the energies of a nighttime tavern to his advantage and to the advantage of those around him. That's going to give us Twilight Sanctuary for a big burst of temporary hit points. We're going to get Eyes of Night to help our bros see through the nightlife, and we're going to get Vigilant Blessing, which is going to be especially good to grant advantage on initiative to the driver to make sure that he gets his assassin bonuses in every fight. Our ability scores are really focused on the mentals and not so much the physicals. 10 strength, 10 dexterity, 8 constitution, we are just a dude, 14 intelligence, 18 wisdom, 16 charisma. We have some nice skills, but with a focus on performance and persuasion, we are going to act as the party face in most conversations. And we have a lot of spells prepared, too many to go through, but I did highlight, again, some of our party contributions, especially locate object for when it's time to shop for a new suit, or locate creature when it is time to find the friendly feminine NPC, greater invisibility, once again helping out the driver as well as some of our other boys down the line, and the ever-powerful spiritual guardians for a bit of damage, which we'll see some play with later. And we do have some decent equipment, but most importantly, in addition to being the party face, we are going to be the party's purse, taking them out on shopping runs. Our feats are simple but effective: Warcaster and +2 Wisdom. Wonderful, supportive Gosling, on to the next. Kay from Blade Runner 2049 needs to bring a lot of range damage and utility. We already have some nice melee sneak attack damage from the driver. This guy is going to sustain damage from range. Now, I considered making an Eldritch focused Warlock of Ana de Armas. However, I don't think this guy has the charisma to really justify it. He's much more wise, and he includes a lot of hand-to-hand combat, so let's see what we can do with that. A Blade Runner is a bounty hunter after a specific quarry, a favorite enemy, so we are going to go with Ranger. Our weapon mastery is going to be in hand crossbows and heavy crossbows. Our background is just Blade Runner. It is what Kay was made for, essentially. We're going to pick up the Tavern Brawler origin feat. We're also going to grab proficiency with air vehicles in case the driver can't get it done on the ground. We will fly to our next objective. And for our alignment, Kay is figuring a lot of stuff out. He is caught between good and evil, between the laws of his land and the chaos of being on the run. So we are going to be neutral. Our species is human. Are we a replicant? Yes. Yes, we are. Should we be more human than human? I did consider an ASMR, but no. I think if we're gonna be on point with the theme, Kay is human. We're gonna pick up Magic Initiate with Druid emphasis to grab a couple extra spells. Now we are only going to take Ranger up to level 8. That's going to give us a few things. We're going to grab the archery fighting style, of course, and we are going to get a speed boost, which is going to add to the speed boost we get from Monk. 2 levels, just enough to get into our Monk's Focus, aka Key, to get us a few extra tricks once we are out of ranged options and it's time to go to melee. We are going to be beating up and grappling our foes. Now, we don't get a Monk subclass, but we do get a Ranger subclass. I wound up going with Monster Slayer. You could pick Hunter to go a more straightforward damage route, but I decided that Hunter's sense plays more into the party. We can look at an enemy and instantly be able to tell the immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities, and that is going to be great for the whole team. Plus, we get supernatural defense for a little more durability. It's unfortunate that Slayer's Prey as a bonus action damage effect doesn't synergize well with the new Hunter's Mark and our Monk bonus actions, but it does mean we always have a guaranteed bonus damage against our enemies. Our ability scores are respectable, but not too flashy, nothing in the negative. 10 strength, 16 dexterity, 12 constitution, 12 intelligence, 16 wisdom, 10 charisma. We have a good number of highly applicable skills. I wound up putting our expertise in investigation so that we can really follow those clues, really follow up on those GM hooks, and get to the next adventure. Now, we don't have near as many spells as our cleric, but our choices are still focused on what's going to help the party, including some nice out-of-combat stuff like Detect Magic and Zone of Truth to further amplify our investigative abilities. For our equipment, we're mostly standard, but for our air vehicle, the PHB mentions an airship. It also mentions several water vehicles. I'm going to combine the two together to make an air keelboat. It's got just enough room for you, Ryan Gosling, your 3 bros who are also Ryan Gosling, and your girlfriend who is actually an illusion. For our feats, crossbow expert was obvious, and you may have seen where I was going with the monk build on this guy. We're going for grappler so that we can get fast wrestler, quickly run up, grab our enemies, pull them back. Driver gets a sneak attack stab on him. Jacob gets to wound him with spirit guardians. High synergy, high damage, but we got 1 Gosling left. Let's see him. It's just Ken. And yet, this man or doll has so much disparate Kenergy that it was difficult to really land on the right build for him. So I am going to use all these elements to build the ultimate Ken. Like most basic D&D boys with no direction, we're going to start as a fighter. Our fighting style is going to be interception so that we can protect Barbie. For our weapon masteries, we get 3, so we're going to go with a lance, a spear, and a javelin, all varied forms of the most phallic weapons we can grab to compensate for the fact that we do not have a penis. Our background is beach. Not sailor, not lifeguard, just beach. Our origin feat is tough, and we are going to pick up proficiency with water vehicles so that we can safely bring our gaggle of goslings by land, air, or sea. Our alignment is tricky. I certainly think that in the film he goes into chaotic evil territory, but this is our fully realized post-film final Ken, and I think this guy's gonna be neutral good. Our species is Warforged. We are a construct doll that's going to give us some extra resilience, some extra AC. We don't need to sleep, so we're going to get sentries rest to keep watch while the rest of our dudes get their beauty sleep. And our specialized design gets us an extra skill and an extra tool. In this case, our tool is going to be the lute so that we can serenade our Barbie. Now, as we start leveling up our fighter and pick our fighter archetype, that is going to be Cavalier because Ken loves horses. This is also going to amplify our tanking abilities with Unwavering Mark. Whenever we mark a foe, it is time for us to prove that we are the best Ken, and that Ken can't fight any of our other Goslings. And then we're gonna multi-class into Paladin for 6 levels. It's gonna give us spells, it's gonna give us lay on hands, we're gonna get another fighting style for another point of AC, we're gonna start getting channel divinities. Most importantly, we're grabbing Faithful Steed so we can always summon a horse, because clearly what heroes of the patriarchy need is a horse. And we have an aura of protection so that we can lead our kins into a new future of better, neutral good kingdom. And we're picking the manliest paladin oath, Oath of Glory. We get the Tenets of Glory, which is mostly flavor, but I think it matches with what Ken's whole deal is pretty well. We're gonna grab some new spells. Whenever we channel divinity, we have a few new options, like Inspiring Smite, so that when we beat up another kin, all the other goslings look at us and say, "Wow, that's the best Ken. You go, Ken." And as you can see, our ability scores are himbo min-maxed all to hell. 18 strength, 8 dexterity, 16 constitution, 8 intelligence, 8 wisdom, 16 charisma. Once again, we have some respectable and applicable skills. We have performance for our serenading abilities, and we also have religion because in addition to being a construct, we are also an extraplanar being. We are going to help the other goslings navigate the planescape. We have a fine selection of half-caster spells, including Compelled Duel so that we can seek out the strongest threat to Barbie and challenge him to a bro down, and Warding Bond so that we can share damage inflicted on some of our squishier Goslings. Our equipment is going to include a full set of plastic full plate and shield to get maximum AC. We are going to bring a surfboard for our bros, never mind that only one of us will fit on that surfboard. We are also, most importantly, going to use the Bastion rule in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide to provide the Goslings with the Mojo Dojo Casa House. Finally, we are taking Sentinel for maximum tanking and Mounted Combat for maximum horse. And that's enough. Thank you so much for watching. I have a few more serious videos following, so I wanted to do something extremely silly, but I am still interested in your comments about your alternate Gosling builds, your 5th Gosling party member down below. Thank you. Have a nat 20 day. Bye-bye.